Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to try and have a closer look at the Money 3 EA robot again here. So it is doing quite well. We think it can do even better. We have been analyzing various results since we did this particular video here in the beginning of May, where we were very focused on seeing if we can get the win rate up to 95%. The developers themselves of this EA, Leapfx, is claiming that basically you can get around 90%. We managed here to get about 95. It has now been trading since early May here with new settings, both a low risk setting that basically covers all 18 currency pairs. And then we have also added now a medium and a high risk set account. They have now been trading for quite a few weeks and things are going extremely well. As you will see here, we have week 18, so that was extremely well. There was a lot of trading that goes on, and both low risk, medium, and high risk had some really good results coming out of it. So a very good start to all this. Week 19 was also another positive week all the way through. And then last one here was week 20. Also, again, nice positive results all the way through. Now, we do believe that we could get a bit more out of this EA, a bit more profit. And at the same time, we also wanted to add a couple of currency pairs to it. So instead of the 8 we have on the medium and high risk, we want to go up to 10. And then we also want to have a look and see if we can adjust any of the lot sizes, and also having a look at the risk. We're going to go through everything here. So if you are interested or even already trading the Money 3 EA, this is basically our observations that we have so far. But it requires us to go through a bit of an Excel exercise again here, similar to what I have done a few times before, to understand where we're getting from and where we are going to, because we are looking at a lot of data. We are looking at data going all the way back with the developers themselves, and we're also having our trading data taking into consideration. So overall, it is a bit more complicated than what we did last time, but I'm sure we will figure it out together. So let's get started and let's have a look at the results since we were there last time. Now, the Excel is built up in such a way that under A you have all the currency pairs, so basically 18 currency pairs in here, and we have just marked up with the light green, and that is the 8 currency pairs at the moment that we are trading. So you can see them over here. And then in the beginning, we also had this on the left-hand side is all the old data that we had in here. So basically we had 51, we had 8 lost, and that is efficiency factor or win factor here of 86.2. We lost 13%, total trades 58. And then we are down on the profit, obviously, and that was mainly down to the US Swiss francs and the Aussie Swiss francs in here. And then per trade, we are also making this up. And at the end of the day, all the numbers are here. Then we have all the new data here, same format. What we can now see is that we basically have 105 trades instead of the 50. So we have a lot more here now to work with. We have, instead of 8 lost, we now have 12. So that is a good change. So basically 55 more trades and only lost 4 in here. The winning percentage is also up, 89.7. And then the losses is obviously down to 10.3. Again, this is our own account for the FXBlue, 117 trades in total. You can see how that varies. And then we also have the profits over here. All of them are pretty nice, apart from the 2 currencies we talked about. And then also per trade, what each trade has provided so far. And that is basically it. Now what we have here then is the summary. And that is basically the difference in between last time and now. And you can see the individual trades, how they are traded here. 59 more trades in total, as it states here, and then that means that some have not traded at all, and we're going to have a closer look at all of them. Now, the first part we do is similar to what we have previously done. So we basically mark them up in such a way that the percentage, so the winning percentage, will be on top. And as you can see here, it goes from 100 all the way down to basically 0. So we have US Swiss francs hasn't done very well at all. And the same for Euro USD. but it has made a bit of money. And then the Aussie Swiss francs also very low because of the heavy losses here. But we are marking them up, and we basically have 10 marked up, and we mark them up in orange in this particular case here, so that we know that the orange part is all the ones that has the highest percentage. And the next part that we do here is that we then turn the table around, and then we now again go in and then now set it up with the profit instead. So basically we are just making sure that the profits that are the highest are on top, and then we mark it up again for the top 10, which is then these particular ones here. And once that is done, so we have a good idea of which ones has a high winning rate and which ones has a high profit rate. Those are the two things that basically we're going to focus on in order to find the best and the right currencies that we want the Money 3 to work on. And what we then do is that when we have common phenomena, so basically as you have here with the Aussie USD, it is both up in the high percentage, and at the same time it's also in high profit, means it's both orange and it's green. So on the next slide we're basically highlighting those in a third color in here, so we can quickly and easily find them for which ones are basically the top accounts, the ones that are both giving good profits and at the same time also a high percentage value. You have a couple of more that is also down here. But you can see this one here, Euro AUD, is not selected. This is not what we are running with. We are not running the British US pounds here either. And you have another couple of ones in here. But basically when we highlight those up in here, this is what comes out of it. So we now give the blue ones in here saying, okay, these are the ones that are good. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here that are basically blue. So it means that these are definitely the top ones that we want to have a look at. We can see a couple of orange ones further down the scale here, and they have 100%, but very few trades overall. And then we have the high profits, which is up here in green, but they have a lower percentage overall. You can see they're only getting into the 90s, and there's even one US CAD. It's down at 83. And then we're adding basically a bit of comments here also into what we had on the first slides. So we can now see that since then we have this particular account, the Aussie USD. It has 3 trades since early May here and at 100%. So definitely that one we need to have in here. We also have the British Pound USD, which we haven't selected before, but it seems to be doing quite well. First of all, it's got a good profit, and at the same time, it's done 6 trades of 100%. And we have Euro USD also doing quite a few trades, 90% efficiency here. So that is also extremely good. But we have already selected this one, so that's good. And USD CAD, same thing here. This is also on our list already. We have 4 trades. That one is not so lucky. We have only managed 50% of them to be positive. And then we have Euro AUD. We go down the line here and saying, okay, so this one here is also high efficiency and also lying very, very nicely here with a high profit compared to some of the other ones when we are taking the lot size into consideration. Of course, they're all the same lot size. So 7 trades, 100%, and we basically get a very good idea of what we are getting out of them. We have another one here, which we haven't selected, which is good. It is 100%, but there's been absolutely no trades whatsoever, so we're not picking those ones up. We have one that has been selected already, but in the period of time, again, a very low amount of trades, and no trades has happened here either. The same with Euro USD. And we can see Aussie New Zealand, 3 trades, 66%. So again, some of these ones here is not doing so well overall. And then basically we handpick every single account in order to figure out which ones are the best and pick them out and saying, okay, these ones are really working well. And we come up with the list that looks like this at the end of the day. So now we have 10 currency pairs based on the information we have from our FXBlue, so our own trading right now. And it now says here that if we trade these particular 10, we will have 82 wins. So we're looking back now. This is sort of a back testing. We have 5 losses. Overall winning percent is 94.3%, losing 5.7%, total trades 87. And then the profit in here, 1,297. And then per trade also about $14 overall. And then we can obviously see that if we then pan this out over the last 5 months, it would basically mean that we would make about $259 or 2.59%. So now let's go to the myfxBlue book, and then we have downloaded all the data. We're going to do exactly the same thing with this. The first part we have again is we have all the old data, so same setup. Currency pairs is over here. We have our winning streak and losing percentage in win and loss, total trades, and obviously they are also down here. 471 trades was won last time. Now we're up to 574. Lost, we had 40 last time. So on myfxbook, that means that the developers has only lost 4. And we can see that there's a small difference in the winning percentage, 92.2, it's up to 92.3 overall. So it shouldn't change too much. There's quite a few trades, as you can see, overall 511. Last time we had a look at it, now we're up to 568. So there's a lot more data in here we can take in. But you will also notice that the profits is gone up quite a bit. And if we have a look at the individual trades, we can see that the developers has also now managed to increase the lot size, basically from 160 to over 200. And you can see there's some currency pairs that are really sticking out. This one here was 284 before, now it's up at 478. So they have gone more aggressive on that one. Aussie New Zealand, you can see it's pretty much the same. Small adjustment to the Aussie USD. So there will be some minor changes in here. You can see Euro British pounds because it hasn't traded at all. It is exactly the same. And also here Euro Japanese, we can again see that the per trade has also gone up quite a bit, almost doubled in here. Same thing with Euro New Zealand. So they've been quite aggressive on some of them. At the end of the day, we are looking at column I here. And again, showing there's a small little difference in between our FXBlue and the developers ones, but it is very small, very minute changes in here. One trade here, one trade there, and we take that down to just the way things are operating. We're not going to go into detail on this particular one, but we have 57 trades overall since last time, and they are basically split up over most of the different currency pairs. So once again, we are now using this particular column over here to have a look and say, okay, the winning percentage, the top 10 in here goes from 100%. So you have 2 currency pairs, New Zealand USD and New Zealand Swiss francs. It hasn't ever lost one here with them. And it goes all the way down to 92.3% for the New Zealand CAD. And that is it. Everything else below is a bit lower in percentage wise. So again, we mark this one up in orange to see overall where we are. And when we then turn the tables around and now do a setup for the profit itself, then the profit up here, we can see that the currency pair that has been making most for Leapfx is basically USD Japanese. It has a good winning percent, so it is orange and it is also green at the same time. And what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the ones that have both. We're going to do the same thing on this particular chart. And we can see a lot of them are matching up here. So both in the high percentage and also in the high earnings at the end of the day. And that is basically the pattern we want to try and see our way out of. We have one, of course, here, which is the British pounds USD, and this is where the developers lost quite a bit on one of their trades. They basically took a 20% hit in here. But let's go and have a look and see when we then paint up all the different areas again. We can see in here that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, We have 8 now that are both highest on the winning percentage, and we also have the highest profit in here overall. So now the idea again is we can see in the green which ones are the ones that we already have here, and then we have added individual comments also to them, which ones are actually working out. 3 trades of 100%, 2 trades of 100%, and that one we don't have. So I marked that one up in green because that one I most probably would like to have in the future. We have Euro USD, which we didn't have, 0 trades, so obviously not adding that one right now. And again, Euro Japanese had 10 trades, 90%, and it is again in the high profits area, so we want to join that one too. If we go a bit further down, we can see the Aussie Swiss francs. It is a bit low on the percentage one, which is why it's not orange here, but it is green, so it's making good profits, and it has also done 7 trades of 100%. So definitely one that might also come into the portfolio. We have our US CAT in here, again, not orange, so a lower percentage, but it is a good earner. But here we have 5 trades and we have only managed a win rate of 60%. That is absolutely too low for us. So we're gonna most probably remove this one here. And then we have a closer look again, Euro New Zealand, you can see 8 trades, 100%, definitely a good one. And it's also in the light blue here, so that could work. And then we, if we jump further down the list, Aussie New Zealand, again, 3 trades of 66%. We have it already on. Maybe it's time to pull this one off. And then at the end, we also have New Zealand CAT. Again, it hasn't done any trades whatsoever. The percentage is high, but if it's not really trading very often, then at the end of the day, not enough money, of course, is coming in. And that's also what we need to have a look at the same time. This is basically what it looks like. And when we end up, so with the currency pairs, these are the 10 currency pairs that we have selected based on the data from the FX site. So, and again, we're getting about 352 won, 23 lost. We have a winning percentage of 94.4, losing percentage of 5.6, overall trades 375. And then we have a profit, which is obviously nice. And then we have on individual trades, how much they have made at the end of the day. This one is definitely wrong. I think the calculation is wrong here. Let me just update that one. So it should be the sum of, hang on. So sum of this one here divided by that one. There you go, 246. So that looks a lot more like it. So these are the data, and now we'll basically set them up against each other. And now we have a whole bunch of color codes in here. I'm not going to go into exactly how I'm going to do this in too much detail at the end of the day. But again, you can see we have my own trading accounts over here with the highlighted markings and the comments that we have. And on the other side here, we have the developers data, what I have taken down from the website itself. And then in here, I'm basically using a bit of a color coding. So basically means that if any of them are color coded or not. So you can see something like the Aussie USD, you can see on our side here, everything is both orange and it's green, which means it gets blue. And it is also over here on the other side. So definitely this is one. We mark up green because basically that correlates. Both data sets correlate that this is what we basically want. And if we have a look at the same thing, we have one that's green, not orange in here, but the other one is blue. So that one is also marked up. This one again, 2 blue, definitely gives a green. And also over here, we can see that this one here has also a green, and it has an orange over here. So we expect that one to go. And we have other ones where basically we have no trades. So it might be orange on both of them, but at the end of the day, it has no trades. It hasn't done anything since we were here. So we end up with a bit of a list that looks like this here instead. And this make more sense once this is split up. Basically what we have done here now is the currencies. Now the light blue is the colors that we already have. These are the ones that we are already trading. And then the dark green is the new ones that we actually want to add to it. Remember, we had 8 currency pairs in the beginning, so we wanted to find 2 more. Plus, at the same time, we actually managed also to exchange 3 of the currencies that we were already working on. We took them out and then basically added 3 other in. And you can now see that these are the data sets that we have. And when you look at the comments, it also makes pretty much sense. Again, you have a lot of 100%. You only have Euro Japanese, 11 trades out of 90. So definitely we are using old data, and we're also using new data exactly to see how well we are doing. And on the other side, you can see also the comments, they are looking good. Most of the trades is 100%. We have 10 trades here with 90%. And then we have all the data that says, okay, if we would have traded this, obviously, since we have brought in back one with a loss on our side here and also one from the developer side, the numbers doesn't look so good, but we don't really care about it because it's all about how the robot is running, how it's been doing. And if you then look at the losers down here, you can see a lot of them basically provides itself no trades. Over here it says 1 trade 100%, 3 trades only 66%, and the same on that side, 1 trade with 100%, same here. And then we have a couple of 3 with no trades at all, so no need to basically put them on. 4 trades of 50%, the other one here has 5 trades of 60%. And then another one, the US Swiss francs, again, no trades, and also on the other side, basically 0 trades. So at the end of the day, these are the currency pairs that we're gonna use going forward. Now, another thing that I just noticed, and we are back here now on the Leapfx, myfxbook site here. And this is the trading that has been ongoing. You can see that the Money 3 has been doing extremely well for very long periods of time. So all the way through here, it did have a couple of drops. So back, and those are the ones we also see the data on. Had another one here, but it recovers quite quickly. And definitely we can see it's a more aggressive setting overall that is in here, because in January they did 28%. February, where they had the crash up here of 20%, they actually managed to get about 12% back. And then we can see March was a very good month also here, and then they had a small little drop again in April. They ended up with a small minus, and after that in May they have more than recovered and are continuing again, and that seems to be a very good strategy. What we know of it is most probably the stop loss itself when the EA is set. At least for the first one, we know pretty well that it was around 20%, and the other one here looks slightly smaller. So they have basically limited the loss overall. And if we have a look at our account, the initial account we had, so this was with FXBlue, we could see that ours also did quite well. Again, don't forget that this was sort of very conservative settings. But things happened here in the market, and we ran into the stop loss. We actually lost 30% because that's what we set it up for. And we believed that that was way too much. We thought that was actually a good thing. But now that we know the robot a bit better, we now consider basically taking the hit a lot earlier, because we can see it takes a long time to basically recover again from that particular loss. And that means also we have to do bit of a strategy change. Even though we are looking at the low risk part, we need to up also the lot size so that we can sort of quickly increase our profits after a loss again. And that should be somewhere for the low risk settings, we believe somewhere between 1 to 1.5 months, where if we take a hit, not of 30% in the future, but basically down to maybe 20%, we can then gain that back in the months to come, similar to what the developers has done here. So if we have a look at the net profits, we can see that they have been doing quite well overall. So this is a weekly chart. So 108, 327, 98, 129, and then we had the big hits for the 30%, basically ended up a bit higher because we already made some profit in here, so it was a bit more than 3,000. Again, then we made a bit of money every single month, and 40, 29, 23, and now started to do a whole lot better. We have also increased the lot sizes from previous, and now at the moment here we are looking at getting a couple of hundred in every single week, and if we continue like this, we believe that might not be quite enough in order to recover. So what we basically have done with our low risk account here is we have doubled the lot size in order to double also the profit, and then at the same time we have now also lowered the overall stop limit in here. So our stop loss means basically when we are losing about 20% of the account, we should be able to make this back in about most probably closer to 6 weeks overall. And we want to try and see if we can aim for that, where we can still be taking not too many chances, because don't forget the low risk one is also the one that actually is running all 18 currency pairs, and we could have a bit of indigestion. We have seen that in the past, especially when we had the loss. We bumped into the maximum 5 trades, which is also why we have changed for all our strategies in here, both the low risk, the medium risk, and the high risk, over to maximum 20%. And then at the same time, we have now opened up for more trades. So basically, we're now saying maximum 6 trades overall. We'll see if that is something that's going to suit us in the future. But definitely, these are the changes we have. And obviously, now we will have to let it run to see how it's going to do in the near future. And you can obviously follow everything, all our individual trades on our website. We have everything, including the IG broker, which we are not really using anymore because, again, it is broker sensitive. So we don't recommend using anything else than the Blaze broker. That works quite nice, and the signals are very stable and very similar to what the developers have. So we definitely recommend that you don't go with other brokers than that. But in here you have all marked up, the low, medium, and high risk. And when you click on those, you go to our FXBlue links. You can see all the trading in here. You can see the lot sizing, everything else that is currently happening. Any changes that we do can also be seen there within a couple of seconds and up to a couple of minutes sometimes. And if you have interest in buying the Money 3 and trying this one out yourself after seeing this particular video, there is a Money 3 coupon code where you can actually get 5% off your Money 3 robot, as long as you use the coupon code here, BOYTFR. It'll be in there, and then there's also links on the website where you can go and pick up further information. Now, don't forget that this is for information purposes only. This is our trading. This is basically our trading travels here on how we are trying to develop, how we try to understand the EA and the robot itself, how it should be traded. And obviously you yourself are in charge of your own trading, your own investment. So don't take this as trading or investment advice, but simply a bit of information on how we have tried to develop the settings, how we think that this should be traded in the future. And that is also why we have so many different trading accounts overall. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. We hope you got something out of it. If you already are an owner of the Money 3, definitely these are some of the things that you could consider. So in the near future, if you already have and you have some good experience, we are always happy to hear also what you have and your experience and profits with it. So definitely just give us comments and a like, and obviously I will see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.